After hours of labor, Mama was forced into an emergency C-section. I was a long, skinny baby, but caught up in weight quickly. We became a party of 5. And from what I've been told, I brought love and light into everyone's life. All of Mama's previous concerns about adding another child to her brood disappeared within hours of my arrival. As it turned out, I was a delightful baby who brought her so much joy and filled a void she never knew existed. I was the youngest by 9 years, which meant I became everyone's baby, plaything, responsibility, and joy. Brian and Britney were so excited to have a little sister. My siblings participated in just about every aspect of my early life. Brian was a protective big brother and would occasionally feed me and rock me. Britney became Mama's extra set of hands, and she did everything: bathing, feeding, playtime, and diaper changing. Both Brian and Britney had their own lives to live, but they always made time for me. We were a loving but complicated family. I guess we still are. Mama cared for me while my brother and sister went to school. I remember a lot of meals around the table and a lot of happy times when I was young. I was passed around a lot and doted on by everyone. I spoke early and entertained my family with my babbling, and my parents say my theatrical nature showed itself early. I chattered about anything, made funny faces, and was entertaining from toddlerhood onward. I had endless amounts of energy and ran around singing and dancing. Mama says I was smart, sweethearted, yet strong-minded. Daddy was often in and out. Mama was so busy with 3 kids, she didn't have time to worry about what he was doing. When he was around, he spent much of his time in the chair trying to convince everyone else he wasn't drunk. My memories of growing up in Louisiana are full of warm days in the sun and the craziness that comes with being a part of a boisterous family. Our family was big on togetherness and long on love. Family and friends filled our backyard every weekend. There was a large tree in the center of the yard that provided shade for hours of playtime we all enjoyed. When she could, Mama made lots of food, and there was usually a grill sizzling. People would stop by throughout the day, which was typical life in Louisiana. Many afternoons were spent with neighbors and friends. We'd play outdoors, ride go-karts, and swim in our neighbor's pool. But from early on, with Daddy's struggles and discord between my parents, I could see that there was something different about my family. It would be several years before I would be able to identify just how different we were from other families. Anyone who knew us before all the fame would tell you that we had a modest home in Kentwood. The town of Kentwood is small. Everyone says good morning to each other by name or asks, "How y'all doing?" It's the type of place where everyone knows each other's business. And people are nosy, but don't cross the local because we protect our own. My favorite memories from growing up were all of us around the table together eating Mama's cooking. She made rotel chicken, peas and mashed potatoes, crabs, you name it. We all loved her country cooking, but Daddy and Brian boiling shrimp and crawfish was a family favorite. Sometimes when people asked if there was extra, she had to answer no. Mama couldn't risk sharing what little food there was. During periods when money was scarce, Mama learned to make do with what she had. Some nights, she would feed my siblings and me first, and then she would eat whatever was left behind. In my early years, I was the princess. No matter how their lives were changing, Brian and Britney made me feel special, and they loved me despite my mischievousness. Brian came to my school one day and spoke to my kindergarten teacher. He said, "How is she doing in here?" The teacher replied, "Jamie Lynn is one of our best and best-behaved students." Brian laughed. "This one? No way. She can never sit still." It seemed early on I knew my audience. We were a typical family who spent hours amusing ourselves with silly challenges, one-upping each other in fun. The fame and money came later, but it wasn't like that when I was young. As a young girl, I never thought about how much money we had or worried about whether we had enough. My siblings and I didn't suffer. But looking back, I can see that the instability in our lives led to periods of financial difficulties. Somehow, we always had what we needed, but I knew better than to ask for anything expensive. I learned that lesson early on, when Mom and her friend took me shopping. Mama's card didn't go through with the limited to, and her friend had to pay for my clothes. The concern in Mama's eyes belied her reassurances that everything was fine. To this day, I can still remember the sting of the humiliation.